It was filming day today. Come to find out my kids don't have school. So another holo holo or cruise session where we talk about real estate. We do something fun in Hawaii. Show you the other side that isn't just buying houses but living here in this beautiful place. So my local people, you're gonna see some familiar food and some familiar phrases. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Never had it.
Never had it.
Heard of it though.
Heard of it. I've heard the rumors and how do I put this nicely? The older generation has told me. Previous generation?
Since we're throwing stones, let's clarify. It's not an older generation thing. It's a you grew up in Mililani thing.
No, but I've heard it from you know.
Some people say Manipu Truck. Tell me in the comments. I heard Manipu Truck, Manipu Van, but I think ubiquitously it's Manipu Man, right?
I'm ready. I didn't eat this morning. I'm hungry. All I've had is caffeine and I have to order a lot.
This ongoing theme is localizing Aiden, but we'll localize my kids at the same time. So my boys, Duke and Dane, also never had Manipu Man. Also raising them in Mililani, so we gotta localize them. Dane, what are your thoughts? What are your concerns?
I think it's good.
Duke, any thoughts or concerns about eating on this truck on the side of the road?
What Jane said.
Okay, let's see how you guys like it. Can I have the regular pork hash and fried pork hash? A ham and cheese? Oh, no more. 3 small noodle. You want Hawaiian sun? Guava, lilikoi, passion orange.
I just like eat already. Taking long for order, these guys.
No, I think that's a spicy thing, you know.
And can I get a lumpia and lumpia? Yes, please. And pork hash, small noodle, lilikoi passion, please. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Yo.
So you're asking me, is that a Manipu Man? I mean, it's a little scary if it's not. High school time, you didn't used to walk down here.
No, I would go to the one over there, not a skate park.
I never heard of that. Well, this is actually classic Manipu Man setup. I could go Manipu Truck on that one, because classically they're on the side with the plexiglass. I see one musubi. You guys want ham and cheese? Look, 1 hot dog. How about you, Duke? Ham and cheese? Do you have rice cake?
No more.
No, no more. That's first thing to go. And can I have 1 fried chicken?
Price per calorie.
Thank you.
Ready to eat.
I didn't mean to wear Campbell orange and black, but it just kind of happened. I told Dane, let me take a small bite, and I was like, did he pull it out? No, there's no way he could have pulled it out. You ever seen that?
Manipu Truck or the Manipu Van?
Which would I vote for?
Yeah, to be the better one.
Well, one thing I know is my kids are proficient in musubis. How do you rank their musubis, Duke?
Million. Go Plex.
Key question I have for both of you guys. Sriracha, shoyu, or both?
Sriracha mandatory,
Mandatory sriracha.
but shoyu could be an off.
Sure you
on or
could.
off.
You know, no more 50-cent fried noodles anymore, okay?
I know. If it's from the bag, it's easier. Just you don't even need a fork.
But do you eat it as is? Do you mix it or do you shake it?
He's doing a down-to-earth salad on us.
Oh, this guy's downing it so he doesn't have to pay. That's the S-Corp flow-through right there. Oh, tax avoidance, this guy. My kids know about taxes. A few blocks from here, we have a listing coming up. Should we cater Manipu Man at the open house? Leave us a comment. How would you feel if you came into the open house and we had catered Manipu Man? You've had a lot of Hawaii food. How are the fried noodles compared to Panda Express?
Panda Express wins.
Panda Express wins. Yeah, but at Panda Express, do you get candy?
No.
So which one would you rather eat?
Manipu Man.
Okay. We are here in Eva Beach doing Eva Beach kind things. Eva Mart. We are now getting a few drinks and ice, non-alcoholic drinks and ice to supply our next endeavor or destination.
More Hawaiian sun?
No, you're not getting more Hawaiians. You sell a lot of hats?
Yeah.
Oh, you have shirts too? Duke, help grab.
Like race, we gonna win.
We're heading to the beach, which means we're gonna do 2 things, maybe 3. Talk about real estate, jump in the water, probably fish. Hoping that we're not gonna get hurt sand sliding. I haven't sand slid since I was a young boy, which 2 years ago. There are certain terms we focus on. This is a channel of education. What's a 2-1 buy down? If there are title discrepancies, can we address it when the prelim is ordered, or do we need to address it in escrow? What is recasting? On an amortization scale, if you make a principal payment every year versus doing a HELOC in the first position, we like to educate on this channel. One thing we cannot educate on is what that sticker means. Oh, you know, I used to be Coast Guard, so I got these extra shirts laying around. And you get in trouble if you wear this outside of uniform regulations. Like, you're not supposed to wear it. All you military people, leave me a comment. I'm out now.
Can they do anything to me? We'll see how it goes. We shouted them out before, but shout outs to Virtua. So the first key to Sandslide is you're not that guy or that girl, and just know that. Nor am I right now. Maybe I had my day back in the day. But the key is, you know, this running, throw the board down, that's not me, that's not you, that's not us. We aren't in that category. So you just find the slope. Well, really to start, you're starting your stomach, and then you go to your knees, and maybe eventually you can stand. But if you're gonna try to stand, find the slope, make sure it slides, and then you start back here, and try not to embarrass yourself on YouTube. Nope, not wet enough. I feel like another key is don't take Kenji's mic all the way into the water. If I didn't have the mic, I would've bust like an air, probably like bang, but since I got the mic, I'll just, you know, I won't do that.
Go do them now then.
Huh?
Go do them now. Oh, okay.
If I can hit a backflip, well, handspring count.
Yeah.
Like handspring counts at my age, right? In the Masters division. If I can hit a handspring, you have a house to sell in Hawaii, you're gonna call me up. Because you already know from all the more serious real estate videos, we're incredibly nuanced, skilled, thoughtful, give range of price opinions, etc. We time the market to an extent. You know, you're looking to sell in December, well, maybe we should push to February. We got media on Thursday, Friday, let's not be overzealous. Let's list on Monday and do open house Sunday. All of these things. If I can pull it off, go to coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the bottom, fill out the contact form.
It's been 2 years since Derek has attempted a backhand spring at Barbers Point.
Oh. On the real estate side, let's play catching your agent slipping. You asked me a question to try to stump me.
Okay.
And I do the same. I'm a little nervous about this. Aiden's well trained and he's on his game. Cue the feedback. Aiden is the best agent we've ever had for those buyers who, it's like their third, fourth, fifth house. They've had agents, but they haven't had Aidens.
Bars.
One of my kids likes the limelight. Which is when referring to leasehold properties, what does the acronym FA stand for, and what does that mean? Oh. God, I'm on the first one.
FA.
Here, I'll give you a hint. FA would be on the MLS. LHFS or FA.
Only FA I know is final approval.
Fee available.
Fee available.
To be fair, we don't really do
Fee
leaseholds.
available for purchase.
Fee available for purchase, yeah.
Don't call me for leasehold.
Wait, for available purchase?
Would you buy a leasehold property, Dane?
I mean, probably.
Don't listen to Dane for your real estate needs. In this building, because typically on Oahu, they're condos, right? You have this condo building, 100 units. Each of the 100 units would normally have a proportionate interest in the land, so you'd own like about a square foot of the land. But in this case, you don't own the land. When you own the land, which is all of the real estate that almost all of you have ever thought about, you never thought of like, yeah, don't you always own the land? No, sometimes you just own the structure, but not the land. That's called a leasehold. And so in Hawaii, when you see a deal that's too good to be true, oh my God, what about this single family for $400? It's too good to be true, it's a leasehold. But when the fee's available, you can purchase your proportionate interest in the land. We don't do a lot of those.
What is the two most common out of pocket costs for a buyer during the escrow process?
When you say out of pocket, is like your generation when they say out of pocket?
I don't identify it with my generation.
The home inspection? Home inspection, I'm trying to go through the timeline. Home inspection, depending on the loan and the situation, the appraisal, fee for the appraisal.
Those are the two that I was thinking
Was
about.
that? Oh, okay. Because a buyer could pay for termite, but in a balanced market in Hawaii, typically sellers paying. Since you help so many buyers, what's the most common problem you see at the home inspection? And or the most common thing that you would see buyers ask for credits and sellers actually say, yes, I'll give you the credit for that.
First part of that question, what are the most common items I see on home inspections? Double tapping into the breaker, meaning that...
That's crazy, right? Why is it so common? So it's supposed to be one breaker, one wire going in.
Yeah.
But double tap.
Let's get 2 in 1. Math don't math.
Putting two live wires next to each other that aren't like the same coil, like two separate wires, not good, right?
I don't know. I'm not an electrician.
But it seems not good. It's against code, and we got to fix it. Supposedly, there were breakers built for double tapping. A company out there said, we're going to make these breakers for this double tap situation. But still, Hawaii code, I believe, is that cannot double tap.
Cannot, even if the breaker says can.
So that's the most common thing we get credits for.
3 things, sorry. Double tapping breakers,
Yeah.
non-GFCI outlets where GFCI outlets are needed within 6 feet of a water source.
One in the loop, right? Because you have 2 outlets near a sink within 6 feet, but if they're on the same loop, one of them has to be GFCI, right?
Meaning one of them got the buttons.
Yeah.
Because they can be tied into the same. But I'm not an electrician.
Nor my DPP. Okay, what's the third?
Third one is frozen valves.
Yeah.
So shut off valves. Our water gets hard if people aren't like exercising their valves.
Yeah.
It's gonna get shut off.
Under sinks and behind toilets, right?
Yes, two most common places. We
Yeah.
actually went through one right now. Going to your other question of what do we get credits for?
Okay.
Those 3 are kind of like the top most common, get the most credit, meaning like people understand. We're going through one right now where we just negotiated a credit for a frozen valve. When we prompted the seller's agent, we're like, hey, the main water shutoff valve is frozen. It doesn't move, so we are requesting a credit of X amount to cover the cost of this.
Before he says it, I want you to guess the other agent's response. Leave it in the comments. Go take a minute. Type in the comments. If you're you're an agent selling this house, and the buyer's agent says, the valve's frozen. Like this valve's frozen and prone to leak, and it's a liability for my buyers, for the new occupants. It's frozen plumbing valve. And the seller's agent says,
yes, my sellers never used it. To which I
have no response.
I didn't even respond. I did this.
Please sign the credit request.
And the next day we had a signed credit request in our inbox. The buyer paid for the appraisal order.
I don't want to give buyers the impression that just because you ask, you get. I don't want to give sellers the impression just because they ask, you have to give.
It's a dance.
It's a dance.
It's a situation by situation. If I'm the seller's agent, how likely is it that if I don't give this credit, or if the seller doesn't give the credit, is the buyer going to back out?
Yeah.
And do I have a second buyer waiting?
What's your walk away? What's your backup? What's your plan B? For example, I had a seller, good guy, veteran, but damn hard ass. They just bought the home like 6 weeks prior or something, 2 months prior, and then they called me and said, we have to leave. We need to sell our home. I make him a deal that makes sense. He was excited. He was like, man, I wasn't even going to ask for that. I insulated my bottom line, and then once, because of the situation, we just sold a house. If I'm able to earn you more, then I'd like to earn more with you. We got a good offer. We were in escrow, and then he wasn't willing to pay for cleaning.
Yeah.
And I said, brother, you thought you could be losing tens of thousands. I'm making you tens of thousands. Like, we are catching lightning in a bottle.
And it's the turnaround from buying to selling was what, a month and a half?
Well, let's call it 2 months.
2 months.
Just to be generous. This cleaning contingency is few $100. Like,
You're
also,
gonna make the deal fall apart over cleaning when there's a very high chance that you wouldn't have flipped the property for even break even.
Also, our plan B wasn't great, etc. No, he refused to do it. We could get a new buyer. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll make $10,000 less. I am not paying $300 for cleaning. Like, he was actually committed to that.
He's gonna die on that hill.
He's gonna die on the hill. He also refused to let me turn the air conditioner down. The house would be hot, and he's like, "Do not touch my AC and turn it down." I was like, "Let me average out kilowatts per hour."
Yeah. Let's put some logic behind
Let's
it.
put some logic. Over the course of showing this home over the next few weeks, we might increase your bill by about $20 to $30. We're trying to make tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. If someone doesn't give you a credit request and you're a buyer, you can walk away as long as you have the contingency open.
Yep.
If you're a seller, you don't want to give the credit request or meet in the middle or anything, you can lose the deal. We just don't know for sure. We're going to do our best to play the game with you, against them, for you. But also, we're just making sure, are you ready to lose this deal? This house that you love, this buyer of your house that you love, are you prepared to lose them in this negotiation? Let us act accordingly.
When you look at Zillow, right, there's this thing, it's called a Zestimate.
Okay,
It's the estimated value of the home, whether it's on market, off market. How common or uncommon is this number an accurate representation of your home's value?
How accurate are Zestimates? The industry would like for us to say Zestimates are ridiculous. They can be, but I would say it depends on the neighborhood, In North Park and Eva, I bet you they're pretty accurate.
Are you saying like it's more of a neighborhood dependent?
Yeah, right. So you're in a unique neighborhood. I mean, you got a piece of land with a farm and a house on it. The Zestimate's out the window. Also, you're in a neighborhood where it just varies a ton. There's 1,000 square foot little homes. There are 3,000 square foot modern builds, a part of Kailua or Hawaii Kai. Like the Zestimate's not going to be as accurate. Moanalua, Waipahu, the Zestimate,
Tough.
within 5% probably. You
Yeah.
know? So on $1 million range, like was it within 50,000? Probably. Within 8%, within 80,000, like probably. And it's a cute way to pay attention to the market. Like, oh, my home's value is going up. My neighbor's home's value. That probably does mean that is the market trend. But as far as an accurate price on your home and whether you should start making plans or I'm going to refi based on this number, don't do that. What is the most common thing, or what are the last couple of things that caused a deal of yours to fall apart for us to not make it past the home inspection or the disclosure statement or the HOA docs? What are a couple of examples of the deal not happening in escrow?
In escrow.
Once escrow started, what have been the last couple of things that an escrow
Fell
canceled
apart.
for?
Cold feet has been one. There's
The buyer.
Buyer's just like, no.
Give me
Another
couple
another-
based on the house or the seller.
One of them being insurance. We were trugging through. We went through the home inspection. We saw the seller's disclosure statement. We approved of both. Buyer approved of both of them. And then we received the condo documents, the meeting minutes, the financials of the building. Those documents are also reviewed by the underwriter and the lending team. And the underwriter said no bueno because the insurance. The insurance wasn't up to par and their comfort to give the money for the
They
loan.
couldn't get the loan.
So we searched around, saw if there were any other options. There were, but the interest rate for those loans would have been higher than what the market was.
Like 2 to 3% higher.
2 to 3% higher.
Yeah, which is significant.
Significant in payment. And the buyer was like, nope, we're not doing it. Cut the deal, got the buyer's money back. And then we got them a home and we closed on them a couple months ago.
Cool.
What's the silliest thing you've seen happen during a transaction? Something you just look at and you're like,
That's
wow,
crazy.
that's actually crazy.
I mean, my seller not willing to turn on the air conditioner. That more so than the not cleaning, right? He's like, my electric bill is not going up $20. You know, everyone goes, how much is gas over there? Let's put some logic behind it. You're gonna drive 20 minutes to Costco to save 17 cents, and you're only half a tank down. You know, like it don't make it make sense. I had a agent hide from me that they had done a termite inspection and found it to be positive for termites. And when I identified and figured this out through other means, probably the worst transaction of my life, I said, well, send us an amended disclosure statement because these are new material facts, new findings. She just wouldn't do it. And here's the way it works. Seller typically pays for termite inspection. They don't have to, but they typically do. I don't know who paid in this situation, but buyer chooses the company. Seller does not want to be choosing termite company because say seller chooses ABC termite, they say there are no termites, and then a day after you close, it's discovered to be positive, and seller chose that company, lawsuit right away, right? So buyer chooses the company regardless of who paying. In this escrow, the seller's agent goes, there cannot be termites there because that company just inspected it 6 months ago. And we treated. And I'm like, wait, what? Zai, our assistant. I'm like, send me the disclosure statement again. I'm reading it. You didn't say anything about termites 6 months ago. I'm like, send me an amended disclosure statement, sellers. She's like, nope, we're not doing it.
And the disclosure statement should have listed down any material facts.
Yeah.
One of a big one being
there's termites in this house.
We inspected for termites 6 months ago. There was, and we fixed it.
And this was a $4 million plus deal, over $4 million deal. I explained to this agent, we are dealing with clients who have attorneys. I am sending you this email as documentation. Send us an amended disclosure statement. Nope, not doing it. So that was pretty silly. Okay, what are the pros and cons of being a buyer with all cash? And what is maybe a pro and a con of being a seller considering an all-cash offer?
As a buyer submitting an offer all cash, there's a lot of pros here. One,
you're that guy.
You're that guy. You're putting your offer in, you're like, yeah, you know from the start, like, you're going to like this offer. Anything with lending on it, there's a higher chance that a cash deal closes versus a deal with financing because that's just another layer of complexity during the deal. Another pro is that you can close faster. You don't need to go through such a long process because you're an all-cash buyer. We can close cash, like a 14-day close.
Depending on the escrow officer and the buyer and the seller, they could get it done in a week.
Versus a loan, like say a conventional loan, 20% down, that on a great transaction, probably like 25 days is like super fast.
Yeah.
If we could close early. Timing and strength are both pros for you as a cash buyer. Cons, you could probably put your money into something better and grow it a little quicker. If you're gonna put $1 million down on a $1 million home, that home is gonna appreciate in value about 4 to 6% depending on market conditions. Are interest rates going higher, interest rates going lower, total economy. That $1 million is growing at 4 to 6% a year, versus if you put into the stock market or say any other private investors, you could get 7 to 9% in the stock market or even higher in other places.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a con for cash buying.
And then for the sellers, cash buyers are great. But sometimes the cash buyer is more entitled. Sometimes the cash buyer is a bully. Sometimes the cash buyer is just a little kind of getting their feet wet in a couple of things, and they approach it a little more frivolously.
I have a con.
Okay.
As a seller reviewing a all-cash offer. The relationship between buyer's agent and buyer, there are scams. Like, people can make Wells Fargo bank statements to say they have this amount of cash.
Chase wire?
I think it's very unlikely, but we've had situations where buyers are fake. They provide fake bank statements. And if a buyer's agent isn't discerning on the fact that, who is my client? Where am I getting my clients from? Did I just start talking to this guy 2 days ago? And
That's a good one.
Hey, I'm going to buy all cash. Has the buyer's agent vetted out their buyer?
Have you met the buyer?
Yeah, have you met the buyer?
Even
or
Zoomed anything?
Zoomed. Have you, talked to this person other than, hey, I want to offer on this? And the buyer's agent's like, yeah, I can get you this house right now.
Yeah.
For a seller, you could be like, wow, an all cash offer, that's great. But how deep did you go to vet out the validity of that cash buyer?
That's a good one.
And
That's
that
a really
could
good
make
one.
the deal fall apart, depending on what happens in the interim. Do you have another backup offer?
Yeah.
That could hurt your seller a lot.
That's a good one.
You're putting a property on market soon.
Okay.
You just did the photography for it.
Okay.
You're looking at the files for the pictures, right?
All right.
In MLS, you can only have 25 pictures. Say in that file of pictures from the media company, you get 50.
Okay.
Right? What pictures are you choosing to be up front? What pictures are you like, maybe not? Maybe let's not do this one.
Shout out to my client Debbie on this, because Debbie's very straightforward, direct, and unapologetic. But she's a great person, and so it's fine. And I can meet that energy, and we met it, and we had a spirited conversation about the photos. And in the end, it's her decision, right? It's her listing, and if she's like, Derek, I really want these first 5 in sequence, probably not going to drop a client or say no for that. Also, I might add some asterisks, like, you hired me for me. This is my opinion. This is my approach. If you want to hold me the most accountable for the outcome, to the degree I'm going to allow you to hold me accountable, it's got to be my way, right? A lot of times people, and let me know in the comments, a lot of times you guys probably want photos that go in sequence so that you start in the front door, see the kitchen, and then it's like a flip book walkthrough. Mm-hmm. But to your point, there's only 25.
Right. There's only 25 slots available.
There's only 25 slots, and depending on the house, you may not be able to. Also, in that situation, there were renters inside, and so we're using old photos that we enhanced. We're using some current renderings from this AI system, and they were not sequential, and that bothered my seller. I would like for that to happen, but my first priority as the listing agent is to spark intrigue, play on their emotions, to make it attractive, to get the showing booked. That's my first thing. And we have a virtual walkthrough that'll show the footage, we'll show the layout. But for the pictures themselves, I might go from outdoors to indoors to outdoors situationally if it is the right thing to spark the emotion. So principally, my approach is I want emotion, I want awe and wow if I can, and I want the showing to get booked, because before offers come showing. Before showing, you'd argue, what comes viewing. I don't want them to get the payoff. I'm not worried about them getting the payoff and okay, now I understand the house. I don't need to go see it. If there's a slight bit of confusion but a ton of awe and intrigue, I'd rather achieve that. Sequence is not as important as emotion, but I'd love to achieve both.
This is another point, what pictures I wouldn't put on, depending on the listing, is roof pictures, aerial shots.
Oh.
We've gotten into situations with insurance.
Yeah, we've had that recently, yeah.
And the insurance company calls up and says, hey, we saw the listing. This roof looks old. We're going to, start picking at this now.
And it's not that we're going to hide anything as listing agents and break rules. Let's say I got a back tooth. Thing's a little bit, discolored. This one back here. We ain't going to have Derek smile like this, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no need.
Yeah. It's
You
not
show
like
the
the roof
front.
was having issues. It's not the roof is leaking.
The
It's not like
integrity
it's,
wasn't-
You're right. It's not like it's 40 years old.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look nice.
Need a little lotion.
A little ashy.
A little ashy.
And if we could present the property in a way that doesn't have anyone look at that at first, that's great for
In
a
its
listing
best
agent,
light.
because we want someone to look at Zillow at 2 a.m. Honey, we got to see this house.
Yeah.
Let me text my listing or let me text my buyer's agent
Right.
the Zillow link so that we can see it. Or, oh man, I can't really understand the home's layout, but I like the updates that were done.
Yeah.
Like, we got to see this. I got to visualize myself in the property, and I just need to be there.
When I was single, there were no dating apps. Where's this going, right?
Where's this going?
And then sometimes there's single friend. And I wonder, like, how would I approach that? Because I would hate to look amazing or be filtered or have abs that I don't have in a picture or whatever, and then show up to the first date and it'd be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't care as much about that in real estate. I don't want there to be a letdown when they get there. I'm managing the letdown factor. My main goal is to get the date.
Right.
But in dating, I might want to not cause the date to happen because we don't want an awkward time. I don't want to, buy an $80 steak that was going nowhere. And so it should be a little more real. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm tracking.
But in real estate, I want to spark the emotion. I want to get you the date with the buyer and see if we can make this a thing.
Get the swipe.
Swipe which way? Right, left? I don't know how it goes.
The good way. The good
good
way
way.
that gets you the showing.
We clicked enhanced photos. We're being honest. But I'm showing you, the angles. The
You're
date.
hitting one of these. You're hitting one of these. Like, the camera's a little higher.
Yeah. Avoid the double chin,
Yep. Forehead before chin.
So this video happened today because my kids were off. Localizing Aiden is a theme that we have to continue. I know Mahi sad she missed out on this one. So we figured we'd talk about real estate, talk about the escrow process, talk about loans, talk about common problems when buying real estate, and show you a little bit of Hawaii. And for my local people away on the mainland, here in Hawaii, live vicariously through us while you're in your cubicle, while you're at home. When's the last time you went to the Monopo Man? Do it. It's not good for the arteries, but it can be good for the soul. See you guys in the next one.
Amen.